The Panama Canal is once again at the center of global attention. President Donald Trump has shocked the world with his statement about potentially reclaiming control of this strategic waterway. His words have sparked protests in Panama and raised concerns in Beijing. Why has this issue become so critical? The answer lies in the canal's immense geopolitical and economic significance. For decades, the Panama Canal has been a symbol of U.S. influence in Latin America, a vital artery connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. However, since its transfer to Panamanian control in 1999, the dynamics have shifted. China's growing commercial presence around the canal has alarmed Washington, fueling fears of Beijing gaining leverage over one of the most important trade routes in the world. Meanwhile, Trump accuses Panama of charging exorbitant fees for American ships, up to $400,000 per transit, and wasting fresh water resources. Could Trump's ambitions lead to renewed cooperation or conflict? With tensions rising between the U.S. and China, this issue could reshape international relations and perhaps even trigger military action. Let's dive deeper into the history, politics, and economics of the Panama Canal to understand why it remains such a flashpoint today. The Panama Canal's history is deeply intertwined with external powers, making it a microcosm of global geopolitics. The idea of connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans dates back centuries. In fact, Spanish explorer Vasco Núñez de Balboa first envisioned a route across the Isthmus of Panama after discovering the Pacific Ocean in 1513. However, serious attempts to build the canal began only in the late 19th century, led initially by France under Ferdinand de Lesseps. The same engineer who successfully constructed the Suez Canal, France's efforts ultimately failed due to engineering challenges, tropical diseases like malaria and yellow fever, and financial mismanagement. Over 22,000 workers died during this ill-fated attempt, leaving the project abandoned. In 1904, the United States stepped in, purchasing the French assets for $40 million and investing an additional $375 million, equivalent to $10.5 billion today. This monumental undertaking claimed over 5,600 lives, but resulted in one of the greatest engineering feats of the 20th century. Under the Hay-Benavarilla Treaty, the U.S. gained sovereignty over the newly created Panama Canal Zone, a 10-mile wide strip stretching across the isthmus. The treaty effectively made the area a de facto U.S. territory, sparking resentment among Panamanians. Tensions boiled over in 1964 when anti-American riots erupted in the Canal Zone, leading to negotiations that culminated in the Torrijos-Carter Treaties of 1977. These treaties guaranteed the canal's permanent neutrality and transferred full control to Panama by 1999. Since then, Panama has managed the canal through the Panama Canal Authority, ACP, ensuring its safe and efficient operation. Despite this transition, the U.S. remains its primary user, accounting for 72% of all transits in 2022. However, recent developments, including China's growing influence, have reignited debates about the canal's future. To fully appreciate the stakes, we must understand how the canal transformed global trade. Before its completion in 1914, ships traveling between the Atlantic and Pacific had to navigate the treacherous Strait of Magellan or sail around Cape Horn at the southern tip of South America. The canal reduced travel distances dramatically, saving time, fuel, and costs. For example, a voyage from New York to San Francisco via the canal saves approximately 13,000 kilometers and up to 22 days compared to alternative routes. This efficiency has made the canal indispensable for industries ranging from agriculture to manufacturing. Larger vessels passing through after the 2016 expansion brought significant benefits to East Coast ports, further solidifying its role in global logistics. Yet, high tolls and operational inefficiencies have strained users, especially American companies. Resolving these issues diplomatically could strengthen U.S.-Panama ties while addressing economic inefficiencies. Donald Trump's interest in the Panama Canal stems from both economic and strategic concerns. He accuses Panama of allowing Chinese influence to grow around the canal, particularly through companies like CK Hutchison Holdings, a Hong Kong-based firm managing ports at both entrances. Trump claims these ties threaten U.S. national security and intelligence interests. Additionally, he argues that Panama charges exorbitant fees for American ships, up to $400,000 per transit, while using freshwater resources inefficiently. Trump's solution: regain full, swift, and unquestioned control of the canal. His team reportedly views this as a bargaining chip to lower tariffs or secure favorable trade terms. Meanwhile, Pentagon documents suggest exploring military options to ensure continued access to the waterway. While Trump insists this is not an act of aggression but rather leverage, experts warn that such moves risk violating international law and damaging U.S.-Panama relations. Panama, however, remains steadfast. Foreign Minister Javier Martínez Acha emphasized that the canal belongs to Panamanians and will stay under their control. President José Raúl Mulino reiterated that the treaties establish the canal's neutrality, ensuring safe operation for all nations. This resistance complicates Trump's plans, forcing him to consider alternative strategies. Will diplomacy prevail, or will escalating tensions push the U.S. toward more drastic measures? To understand Trump's motivations, we must examine the broader context of U.S.-China competition. The canal serves as a choke point for global trade, handling approximately 6% of worldwide maritime commerce. Its strategic importance cannot be overstated, particularly for the U.S. Navy, which relies on unimpeded access to project power globally. Any disruption could have cascading effects on military readiness and economic stability. Moreover, China's Belt and Road Initiative (BRI) seeks to expand Beijing's influence across key trade routes, including those near the Panama Canal. While China denies direct military involvement, its commercial foothold raises suspicions among U.S. analysts. Experts believe that data collected by C.K. Hutchison provides valuable insights into maritime traffic patterns, potentially aiding espionage efforts that Trump's rhetoric aligns with his administration's broader strategy to counter China's rise. By targeting the canal, he aims to weaken Beijing's grip on critical infrastructure while reinforcing U.S. dominance. However, critics argue that such heavy-handed tactics risk alienating allies and undermining international norms. From a domestic perspective, Trump's stance resonates with his base, many of whom view the canal as a symbol of American ingenuity and investment. Supporters point out that the U.S. played a pivotal role in creating Panama itself. In 1903, President Theodore Roosevelt encouraged a rebellion in Colombia's northern provinces, leading to the creation of the Republic of Panama. The U.S. Navy then prevented Colombian troops from crushing the uprising, effectively guaranteeing Panama's independence. This historical context underscores why some Americans see the canal as part of their nation's legacy. Trump's call to take it back appeals to this sentiment, framing the move as a restoration of lost sovereignty. However, opponents caution against revisiting outdated imperialist policies that could harm modern diplomatic relations. That China's involvement in the Panama Canal adds another layer of complexity to this geopolitical standoff. While Beijing denies direct military presence, its commercial foothold raises concerns among U.S. analysts. C.K. Hutchison's operations provide valuable data on maritime traffic, fueling suspicions of espionage. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning stated that China respects Panama's sovereignty over the canal. Yet, many believe Beijing sees the canal as a critical node in its Belt and Road Initiative. If Trump pushes too hard, Panama might drift closer to China, further entrenching its influence. Conversely, striking a deal could weaken China's grip. For now, the international community watches cautiously, aware that any misstep could escalate into a larger crisis. The Panama Canal is a vital artery for global trade, handling approximately 6% of worldwide maritime commerce. In 2022 alone, goods worth $12.5 billion flowed between the U.S. and Panama. Larger vessels passing through after the 2016 expansion brought significant benefits to East Coast ports. The canal saved ships up to 13,000 kilometers and 22 days of travel time, making it indispensable for efficient logistics. However, high tolls and operational costs strain users, especially American companies. Resolving these issues diplomatically could strengthen U.S.-Panama ties while addressing economic inefficiencies. What does the future hold for the Panama Canal? Will Trump's bold ambitions lead to renewed cooperation or conflict? As geopolitical tensions rise, one thing is clear. The canal remains a cornerstone of global trade and international relations. Its fate will shape not just U.S.-China dynamics, but also the broader world order. What do you think about this situation? Should the U.S. take control of the canal, or should Panama maintain its sovereignty? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss more thought-provoking content like this. Thank you for watching.